Welcome back, everybody, to Chats Without Borders. My name is Wilson Harmond, and today I am joined by Sean Busenlener from Shorelight Education. To get everybody who hasn't seen one of these before kind of caught up, Chats Without Borders is an opportunity for us to sit down with experts from around the international education space, get some of their insights about, what it means for the international students and their families to study abroad, some of the challenges they might face, as well as some tips and tricks that they can use to kind of navigate life abroad better. So with that, I'll let Sean introduce himself. He is from Shorelight Education and has been a great partner for Flywire, and he's got some really interesting things to talk about.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Wilson. Thank you for having me on Chats Without Borders. My name is Sean Busenlener. I'm the general manager for Shorelight Marketplace, and where Shorelight focuses on supporting a student throughout every stage of the student journey. My role is really focused on enhancing the student experience outside the classroom. That starts in the very beginning with visa prep, helping with living essentials, housing arrangements, insurance, leading us all the way to careers and how to take advantage of opportunities while you're studying, as well as what to do to prepare upon graduation.
Awesome. Yeah, really excited to dive a little bit deeper into that internship part. That's something we haven't talked about yet on this, but I know comes up a lot in terms of, how do they work and what are some of the challenges, what's the process, and then what are resources available. So we'll start with kind of the really, simple question. Why are internships important for international students?
Yeah, absolutely. Internships, externships, co-ops offer invaluable opportunities for hands-on real-world learning for students to stand out in what is a very competitive market. Working an internship can also help make connections in industries that help set you up for future career success. According to Zippia, approximately 70% of interns receive a job offer from that employer. So we talk about setting up for success. If you find the right internship in the right field where you want to go and the employer for whom you want to work, it can really set you up so that you are headed in the right way and you have a good chance of gaining employment through that employer.
So we'll hop into the next question. What's the usual process for a student looking to get an internship? What are some of the challenges and kind of what are the tips for success you might have?
Absolutely. Because international students usually don't have a network developed in the U.S. already. They work with university career centers or search independently just online for those opportunities. From there, they go through the standard application process with an employer while working parallel or in parallel with the International Advising Office at their university to make sure they stay in visa compliance and follow work authorization requirements. Often, the university career centers are more regionally based and sometimes don't have the resources or expertise to be globally focused. So this can result in that process being a little bit more of a numbers game that involve a great deal of patience from the student's part as they wait for employers to reply. If a student or when a student finds an opportunity, they may need to relocate. They may need to take into consideration the financial burden that comes along with that, which is why things like virtual internships are really opening doors for international students. Some of the tips for success that we talk about are research your degree before you come, or while you're in it, of course, for CPT opportunities, things that are baked into your curriculum so that you can take advantage of those opportunities. Start researching or preparing, better yet, your credentials, things that you've been a part of, right? Your educational degree, any certificates that you've earned, your previous work experience. Those things are going to be your foundation for your CV or your resume. Research employers or potential employers who give opportunities, especially to international students. University or college sites are a good place to start. After that, you look for regionally based companies that are in your city. If you're in a large city in the US, obviously that's a little bit more plentiful. And then are there any companies from your home country as an international student that are also positioned in the United States? That may be a good opportunity for you. A lot of students use myvisajobs.com to look at potential employers. You can see the number of petitions that were approved so they can sponsor students on H-1B, not only for the internship, but of course for employment long term. And I would say some of the tips at Shorelight, we're an international student success partner, right? And so we have something called career services, or we focus and we support on career services through our career premium program, which really is broken down into 3 components. The first component is the coaching, one-on-one coaching, and a series of workshops. Those workshops help with interviewing skills, resume building, CV, cover letter, how to develop those things, as well as they work on the one-on-one mentoring sessions to guide students on what they can do with their degree and what types of careers those students want. From there, the second component would be certificates. And the certificates are broken down into a series of soft skills and hard skills. And so soft skills are really the teamwork, leadership, critical thinking. The hard skills are more programming, project management, and finance. The last component of the Career Premium program is the internship experience. And that's the hands-on practical application of all those skills that they've developed, everything they've learned in those coaching sessions and those workshops and those one-on-one mentoring sessions.
Awesome. Yeah. And, I want to dig a little bit into that. You mentioned kind of the rise of these virtual internships. How else have internships changed in the last 5 years, due to the pandemic, the rise of remote work? How has that shifted the view and opportunity for international students?
I think more and more employers are really embracing a remote first workplace. And so students are looking for opportunities to gain that virtual experience. And there's some benefits to that, of course. It opens up the possibilities. They don't have to relocate, or they don't have to find a job or an internship in their city. So it really opens the door to the number of employers that they can search, jobs they can apply for. With the Career Premium program, students given an opportunity to gain that experience through a virtual internship that are going to help set them up and be prepared for when they enter the workforce.
Awesome. And then kind of the last question in the internship bit, what are some of the resources that are available to international students who are curious about internships, want to get to learn more? I know you already mentioned myvisajobs.com and the university sites. Are there additional places to look?
Absolutely. So those two are great ones. And most universities and colleges do have those career centers, both at the university level as well as their individual college level. Sometimes there are program level career services that are available to students in placement. I did mention the Career Premium program with Shorelight that helps students through those different components I spoke about. I think, or I know, that every student who has gone through that program has gotten an internship and gone on to either an additional internship or full-time employment in the U.S. I can think of a couple of students that are true success stories that kind of come to mind, some of our all-stars. One of them is named Varun Nair. And he actually wrote a book called Breaking Stereotypes, Debugging Your Tech Career. Hopefully he enjoys the plug there. He's currently working for Ernst & Young in Columbus, Ohio. He went through our Career Premium program. Another all-star is Shrikant Sadal, who upon completion of his degree, and he now is got full-time employment in a computer programming position in Pittsburgh. But I know he fielded opportunities from Formula One, from NASCAR, from Walmart. And so I think that the resources are there and they're available for international students. And I think it's really up to the student. And I encourage the student to start the preparation as early as possible before you even come to the US and start your degree, look at all those opportunities, right? Look at what your career can offer you. And then once you get here, start to take advantage of those opportunities. Don't wait till your final year as an undergrad or a grad student. As soon as you get here, start to see what's available to you, right? Start to map out your roadmap for success upon graduation so that you can be set up for that OPT opportunity that hopefully moves into full-time employment at the conclusion.
Yeah, so that's an incredible amount of information, especially all of those resources. I'll do a quick kind of summary of just some of the points. Obviously, we'll have anybody can go back and watch this and see all these great insights, especially checking out some of those success stories. We'll make sure we link to those in the comments. It really sounds like internships are an amazing opportunity. I mean, you mentioned that 70% offer rate is incredible, right, for interns. Being sure to research the employers. You obviously mentioned Shorelight has a great opportunity to overcome some of the challenges of geography through the virtual internships, as well as the wide set of connections. And the coaching services as well. I think that's something that anybody can benefit from and really get a lot of value from. Are there any other things, that you have seen in those success stories that people might be able to emulate? Or is there any other place that they should go to, kind of learn more about what Shorelight does and what you're doing to help international students?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that you can emulate or take away from those success stories, those students took advantage of those resources, right? Those students went out, found those opportunities, and made the most of their experience while studying here in the U.S. An international student oftentimes they're paying out-of-state tuition coming to the U.S. It's quite an investment, and a student should look at it for what's the greatest return on that investment. When I come to the U.S., I'm going to get my degree. Yes, that's objective number one, but what else can I take advantage of during that time that's going to help set me up for future success? And I think that Shrikant and Varun both took advantage of those opportunities and all of the resources that were available to them while studying in the U.S. And are set up and they have very bright futures ahead of them, and they're on the right path, and they're where they want to be. And so I encourage any international student who's coming to the U.S. to study to take advantage of the resources through the university or through a company like Shorelight, like what we do, through the programs that we offer, so that they can have bright futures and really achieve their goals.
Awesome. Well, Sean, thank you so much for being able to just provide this incredible amount of insight into the internship program, as well as the changes that have come. We'll link to all the different resources that were mentioned, including Shorelight, so students can check that out. And if you have any further questions, we'll put relevant contact details in the video description as well. Sean, thank you again so much for taking the time to talk with me today and share some of your expertise.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wilson, for the opportunity.